A man is on the floor, holding someone, clutching him the way people hold things they can already feel slipping away. The light is low, almost amber, like the room itself is bleeding. The son's head lolls backward, one eye half open, the other already somewhere else. And the father, his face, that is what stops you. Not grief, not horror, something worse than both. His eyes are wide, enormous, and he is staring directly at Russia, 1885. Just 4 years earlier, a bomb had killed Tsar Alexander II in the streets of St. Petersburg in broad daylight. The message to every ruler in that empire was unmistakable. No one is untouchable. Into this atmosphere, a painter named Ilya Repin became obsessed with something that had happened 3 centuries before. A moment so brutal, so intimate, that no one had ever dared put it on canvas. On November 16th, 1581, Ivan the Terrible, the first Tsar of all Russia, struck his own son across the temple with an iron staff. During an argument, in a flash of rage that lasted seconds, his son was the heir, the future of the entire dynasty, and Ivan killed him with his own hands. Repin was not a comfortable painter, he wanted truth. Not beauty, truth. And sometimes those two things are a long way apart. He had already horrified polite Russian society with images of peasants straining under impossible weight, of radicals being dragged away by soldiers. He painted things people preferred not to see. But this was different. He spent 3 years on this single canvas, and during those years, friends reported that his arm would go numb at the easel, that he would have to stop, put down the brush, walk away. He couldn't finish it, but he also couldn't leave it alone. In my opinion, that detail tells you more about this painting than anything else. An artist physically sickened by his own work and still unable to walk away. Let's start from the floor. A carpet, deep red, almost wine dark. But look closer, some of that red is not carpet. Ivan holds his son on the ground, one arm wrapped beneath the boy's head, the other pressed hard against the wound at the temple. His fingers are splayed wide in that specific way people grip things they cannot hold. The son's body is completely limp, his shirt torn open at the chest, one arm draped to the side, fingers slack. Above them, nothing, just darkness. Repin gave the scene no context, no background, no escape for the eye. Only these 2 men on the floor. But it is the father's face that Repin spent the most time on. Every crease, every vein in those enormous, terrified eyes, every feature screaming a single word. Not grief, regret. There is a difference. Grief is what you feel when someone is taken from you. Regret is what you feel when you are the one who did the taking. And around Ivan's neck, a rosary, a cross. The man who tortured enemies for sport, who built a secret police of black-robed horsemen to terrorize his own people, wearing a cross, clutching the child he just murdered. Now, look at the son's face, that barely open eye, that expression suspended between this world and whatever follows it. That face is real. His name was Vsevolod Garshin, a poet, a short story writer, a man who carried deep, consuming mental illness with him for most of his adult life. Repin chose him deliberately. He saw in Garshin's eyes something he could not find anywhere else. A look that already contained its own ending. And here is where it gets strange. 5 years after this painting was completed, Vsevolod Garshin threw himself down a stairwell. He died from the fall. The man whose face became the dying prince of Russia died a sudden, violent, falling death. But it didn't stop there. In 1913, a young icon painter named Abram Balashov walked into the Tretyakov Gallery in Moscow. He stood in front of this canvas for a long time, and then he pulled out a knife and slashed through the painting 3 times, right across the faces. Guards dragged him away, screaming that the painting had driven him to madness. 2 of the restorers who repaired the damage suffered nervous breakdowns shortly after. And before any of this, before the slashing, before the deaths, Tsar Alexander III had already tried to bury it. He ordered this painting removed from public view after just 3 days on display. 3 days. We may never fully know what he saw in it that frightened him so much. Before we go further, I need a moment, because what we just covered the deaths, the madness, the Tsar's fear. That is not the end of what this painting does to people. There is still the question of what Repin buried inside the pigment itself, what he hid in the light that almost no one noticed. Look at the painting again, but this time look at Ivan's hands. One cradles the head, one presses against the wound. They are enormous, heavy, and they are the hands of a man who knows exactly what he did. Earlier, I pointed out the rosary around his neck. Now, knowing that Repin spent 3 years in torment over every single detail, that rosary is no longer a costume choice. It is an accusation. Repin painted a man trying to pray his way back from something no prayer can reach. And the blood. Let's talk about the blood. Repin met with physicians. He studied the precise color of fresh blood on fabric, on stone, on skin. He wanted it exact. Not theatrical red, not symbolic red, real. The result is a shade that does not read like paint at all. It reads as wet, it reads as recent, which, and this is what unsettles me the most, means your brain does not fully process this image as history. Some deep part of you responds to it as a crime scene, and you are standing in it, alone, the only witness, and no one is coming. Pull back from the bodies, from the blood, from the eyes. What are we actually looking at? This is a painting about the one thing power cannot protect you from: yourself. Ivan the Terrible built an empire through violence. He ruled through cruelty and fear. He had the power to execute anyone, destroy anything, and in one uncontrolled second, he destroyed the only thing that mattered. We have all had moments. Not like this, nothing like this. But the small version of it, the words said in anger that cannot be unsaid, the door slammed, the thing broken that cannot be repaired, the moment you watched yourself become someone you did not know you were capable of being. What strikes me is that this was never really a painting about a Tsar. Repin painted the specific horror of irreversibility. The moment after, the moment when it is already done and you know it, and the knowing changes nothing. That is why Alexander III wanted it hidden. That is why Garshin's eyes still unsettle people a century and a half later. That is why a man walked into a gallery and took a knife to it. This painting does not let you stay comfortable. This canvas survived a royal ban, a knife, 2 nervous breakdowns, and the death of the man whose face it wears. It still hangs in Moscow. It still stops people cold. So here is the question I want to leave with you. When Alexander III ordered this painting hidden from the public after 3 days, was he wrong to do that? Or is there such a thing as an image too psychologically dangerous to display? I'm genuinely asking. Leave your answer below. I want to know where you stand on this.